For a little bit of delay this morning, but we also are thankful to everyone who is able to be here given the weather and the consequences of the weather upon all of you. So thank you so very much for being here. We're going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. I think we'll be getting some more packets and more stuff shortly, but I would like us to go ahead and get started. Would anybody be willing to do the invocation today?
Sure. Go ahead, Sam.
It's either you, Darren, or me. That's fine. All right, let's thank you folks here. Let us pray for a minute here. We'd like to thank and the guidance and the directional activities that we're getting from the Lord, how we deal with our activities, how we share it among our people, how we resolve our issues. And especially in the last few days or week, we'd like to thank the various fire departments, police departments, emergency medical areas, those areas for helping us with the storm issue, the storm data, the storm arrangements. We're especially thankful for having the opportunity to have a slight warming, and welcome back to the ability to come back and finish what we need to do and how we want to deal with it. Our lives move on when these things happen. We just need to share it together. In the name of God, thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Sam. So we have minutes from the special called meeting on December 10th. And I think those might have been sent out previously to folks. So I need a motion for approval or changes to those minutes, please.
Madam Chair, I have a couple of changes on page 17. This is to the Newcomb oil, and I think you all can appreciate why it's important to get those particular findings correct. This is page 17. I'll provide this to staff. The fourth bullet point up from the bottom says no major changes in the argument was made. That needs to say no major changes argument was made. That's one of the specific arguments you can make when you rezone. And then the second bullet point up from the bottom, I'll read it how it should read. Final comp plan goals or objectives suggesting that the proposal is inappropriate are those goals not satisfied by the application, which promotes access to walking, et cetera. So just fleshing out some of those for what was intended by them.
Thank you, Henry.
Thanks, Henry. Any other changes that need to be made to the minutes?
I move that we adopt the changes and the minutes as amended.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, I think we're going to go on now to the financial report. Is that the next thing on the agenda?
Yes, we're not prepared to do the audit update yet. So for the financial report, if you go at the end of the minutes, you'll see a sheet that says as of December 31st, 2025 on the top of it. Turn that page because we're not going to look at the assets and total liabilities. We'll start with expenses, income and expenses. So go to the sheet that says ordinary income and expenses at the top. And again, this is through the month of December, so it's halfway through the year. So if we're right on budget, it should be everything down those columns should be 50%, of course, which they never are, but that's what it would be if we were right on budget. And actually, you can see the Danville contribution is shown at 75%. Because it includes the fourth quarter of 25, as we've spoken about several months in a row. Boyle County contribution is shown essentially at about 53% because it does also include fourth quarter 25, but it does not yet include the dollars for second quarter 26, which it should. So coincidentally, it looks like it's right on budget. All right. And then drop down to total commission revenue, and you'll see that total commission revenue for the first 6 months is $117,264, which is 60% of our budget. So it's actually over budget, but again, that's because we have these fourth quarter contributions from last year that didn't get received and recorded until this year. If you take out those two contributions, the one from Danville and the one from Boyle County for fourth quarter 25, our actual revenue this year so far for the first 6 months is closer to about $79,000, which would be 41% of our budget. But again, that's low because we have yet to receive the second quarter contribution from Boyle County. So if you put the second quarter contribution for Boyle County back in, then we're right at 50%. So I mean, all in all, when everything gets sorted out, we're essentially right on budget for revenue. Any questions on revenue? And then expenses. If you kind of look down, the only thing we'll really be talking about on expenses is what we spoke about before, which is on the second page. We do have the Bluegrass Ad GIS contract about halfway down the page, and they're at $52,663. Again, that was something that was not in budget because we didn't expect, we expected to receive and pay for that last year in '25. And so that's an out-of-budget item, and it's been an out-of-budget item that we've talked about for the last several months. So if you drop down way at the bottom, the total expenditures, you can see our total expenditures has shown 161,000 versus a total year budget of 230,000. So it shows that we're 70% of expenditures as opposed to 50% because of the unbudgeted Bluegrass Ad costs. If you take the Bluegrass Ad items out, we're at 47% of expenditures versus a budget of 50%. So,
Is that going to be recurring?
no, I mean, when this should get cleaned up is when we do the budget amendment. And the budget amendment we'll be reviewing at the next meeting.
Yeah, you're like me thinking. Oops, you're like me, it should make the numbers make more logic.
Yeah, the numbers will then make more sense. And the only other comment, I guess, is on the audit. The audit is done, well, we've got the draft of the audit. And the budget committee will be meeting on February 10th with Chad Robinson of the audit firm for us to go over that audit. And then we'll be reviewing that. We'll actually have Chad Robinson come in for the February meeting here to go over the summary of that audit with the committee. And we also hope to then to be reviewing the fiscal year '26 budget amendment at the next meeting, which will then include all these changes that we've been talking about, all these one-time things for the last several months. Any questions? So we do need a motion to accept the financial report.
Can I get a second of that? Thank you. All those in favor of approving the financial report?
Aye.
Thank you. Anything else, Terry? I think we go to the construction sureties now, and that would be Ms. Hannah.
Yes, there is nothing new on these construction sureties because we did those reductions and releases last month. So there really is nothing new to discuss on this month.
Anyone have any questions about this? Okay. All right, I believe we're going to go on now to subdivision approvals, and Ms. Hannah will use.
Was there anything on the cash bonds?
On the cash bonds, no. We released Nancy Davis's, and that was released to her last month. So
Okay,
we've got that removed.
I didn't think there was, but just ask.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we've got 5 things on subdivision approvals. First one is team leader at May Boulevard and Frey Mave Lane. Team leader has applied for the subdivision and retracement of 11.879 acres located on May Boulevard and Frey Mave Lane along the South Danville bypass and Danville. And this property is zoned highway business and agriculture. So this has a split zone down on the south. So we did discuss that in tech review of it having that split zoning. It might need different requirements for parking and stuff like that. But other than that, that was really the only discussion in tech review, is that.
Can you use your pointer and show where the different zone part is?
I don't have a laser on this one, but if you look at the south tract 4A, I believe, is the one that had split zoning on this
The
one.
little triangle at the bottom is
Yeah.
4A.
This track 4A
Yeah.
down here?
Yes, yeah.
And explain that one more time, what are the zones that are split?
The highway, it's split between highway, business, and ag. And the biggest conversation about that split zoning is there is no parking allowed in ag. So that really might be the only thing to consider.
Are they requesting it, are they requesting a zone change?
Not right now, not right now.
So that's the awkward that we talked about a little bit in the tech meeting, because you end up leaving this particular little triangle as an ag, but it's going to be absorbed into that particular, joined into that existing one that is not.
I don't like the precedent of.
It's not a precedent. We've been doing apparently on other ones. We just let it happen.
What are we letting happen to be able to?
A given property may have two different zoning categories.
Okay, but then if it is, then the ag laws apply to the ag section, correct?
That's correct. I
Right.
think there's an expectation that this will be dealt with. I think there are plans for this property that are going to require expedient action on it, so.
And that's right, Henry. There's not, this is not at this point of anything showing what development's going on here, what the intentions are anywhere. But it's valid to point out that it does carry that. Yeah.
I think we're going to get a little clarification here.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Dale Shepperson with AGE Engineering. The little strip of property that's zoned ag is the Clark property that Team Leader is purchasing. And it is zoned to ag. However, the Team Leader wants to get it into their name before they do a zone change, because if we try to do a zone change under the Clark name,
Yeah.
everything gets really complicated. So that's the reason why.
Yeah, so it'll resolve itself that, but
Thanks for the logic there.
Yes.
yeah, it's a great way to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
So we're
Hannah,
saying we'll see this again, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, for that portion, yes,
For
correct.
the zone change
Right,
purpose
for
in the
the-
future? All right,
Yes.
They're going through step by step.
It's a
That's what makes
step-by-step.
sense.
okay.
The awkwardness in some of these deeds and arrangements, you'll see some of the plats is they're doing a lot of things under a given plat change. That complicates it. There is a very complicated one that we'll see shortly that came up at the meeting.
so this is not the first one on the list on our agenda. This is Team Leader, and it is number 4 on our agenda.
I'm so sorry. I did,
No,
Yeah.
it
It
is,
is, yeah, it
It's
is.
okay, we can take them out of order of that.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm not
yes, that's correct.
confused.
Yeah.
And so coming out of tech review, they did not have recommendations
For this,
for this one, for Team.
We wanted to discuss that with Henry about what the precedent was for that split zoning, whether we could make an executive decision or an administrative decision, or it had to go through the owner of the plat. And so, based on his recommendation, I think it would,
and if you start thinking outside the box a little bit here, it is a small shape of property compared to what it's joining. The question then becomes, do we have to have, I think we have to go through the formalized procedure to actually vote on that.
Is there anything that we have to vote on right now?
No.
Or can we allow them to go through the process of changing getting the property deeded, and then coming back to ask for a zone change to replat, or to rezone the whole thing into the same zone?
And the tech meeting did not know of anything else, but Henry, it was part of the question too, on the legal perspective, leaving it as is fine. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
That was the only thing we needed to do at the
We don't
meeting.
have to actually make a vote on anything.
But I recommend that you do. We've had this conversation before about where it's technically correct. I think it's this board's job to take a vote and pass it.
Yeah.
So we would pass this
Make a vote to approve it.
possibly with the caveat that we need to have further work to sync up the zones.
At any point, if they were to come in and ask for a permit to start the parking area or build on that property,
then it
It
would
would,
not be approved.
it would be presented to them at that time that they need to rezone. So
So,
I don't think it even needs to be a condition on this vote.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
no.
It's technically correct.
Technically,
What they're
it's
doing right
correct.
now is technically correct.
And the next one for team leader would kind of be the same discussion. It's a split zoning as well. And there are two tracks on the bottom, 2A and 2B are the ones that are in ag, and the rest are in highway business. So it's kind of the same conversation.
And that's number 5 on the
Yes, yeah,
agenda?
that's number 5.
But basically, it's the same.
Yeah, precedent, where do we, yes, yeah.
So, may I ask, is this property that would all filter on into the free Maeve and then filter onto the south bypass, all in that same area where across the street it's the coffee area and Kroger and so forth?
It is on the same side as Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
But it's gonna all come into that intersection.
The
Yes.
new traffic light there, yeah.
Yes,
And the
right by,
traffic pattern that's very unusual.
Chaotic,
Yes, yeah.
one could say.
Right there by the South Danville bypass. But I believe it's on the east side of the water tower, right? Or is it on the same side as Chick-fil-A? Okay.
So it'll basically, just for my understanding, it will be back behind where Chick-fil-A currently resides. Is that correct, Dale?
Is this property will actually be between Chick-fil-A and what is Lowe's.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So
so it's
it'll-
actually
it'll
closer
kind
to
of
the
set
Lowe's
that away.
intersection.
Yeah.
Does
is
it
the
have
south.
a connection to the road that goes around Lowe's
The
currently?
May Boulevard.
Yes, it has a connection out front, May Boulevard.
So traffic could come in from that side,
Correct,
as well as traffic could come up through that traffic light.
correct, yes.
So there's two access.
Two different
Well, and May
intersections.
swings around and goes across to the Walmart, so,
Yeah.
so it's three
That's-
different directions.
That's good, because
Yes.
that traffic light is gonna become increasingly busy.
Yes.
Okay, what is your pleasure? Do we wish to approve this subdivision as presented? I'm sorry, Sam, did you make a motion? I didn't catch.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was pointing at you saying this would be your motion.
Oh, yes, it would be my motion. Absolutely. I don't see any issues or concerns. I'd like to make a motion to approve on both items,
Both,
both these.
Yeah,
items.
items 4 and 5 on our agenda.
Yeah. That's the only ones that we're talking about, the two that we've already
Okay,
presented.
and I have a second. And all those in favor? Okay, pass. Thank you.
The next one on the
Hannah,
agenda.
which one you gonna do now?
Yeah, sorry about the mix-up,
It's
yeah.
okay.
This one is
You
number
keep
1.
me sharp here.
Yeah. This one is number 1 on the agenda.
Owens?
Owens Chevrolet, Inc. has applied for the subdivision and improvement of a 155-acre parcel of land located at the South Danville Bypass and Frey Mave Lane. The parcel is zoned highway business. And the biggest discussions in our tech review was we needed to discuss a hammerhead on the south of that plat. The city engineer discussed easements, possible easements for the city, and then rounding the corners and making sure that there's enough visibility, like we have 30-degree visibility for that corner on the south, and then show sidewalks on the plats as well. But it is good with everybody else in tech review. There was nothing that fire needed, but those are really the only comments during tech review. So it looked good from our perspective.
So those comments and suggestions, would you like to comment on those suggestions? State your name, address, please.
Lucas Mullins with AGE Engineering. We have addressed all those comments. I think we sent an updated plat. It was toward the end of last week, and I think the weather kind of affected all that, but we have added the sidewalks and rounded any corners. And then the 155 acres that Hannah mentioned, that is just the total acreage of the parent tract. This will just be about 6 or 7 acres that will be subdivided out of that. And so everything, any other comments that they had have been addressed.
Were the sidewalks shown on that? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, the one that's going to be signed will be that, yeah, okay.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments from the commissioner?
So I guess I'm still trying to orient myself here.
Okay,
So this new,
Owen Chevrolet.
yeah, so the proposal, this is the land that's to the west of the Frida May Lane that we just talked about,
Right.
and butts up to the bypass.
So the northernmost part of these properties is the right-of-way of the Danville bypass.
Right.
And then the east side is Freya Mave. You can see where that storm pipe, the green line runs down and to the right, directly to the right of that, that is the Chick-fil-A property. And so these two properties, they are basically in line with Chick-fil-A, and then they extend all the way up to the right-of-way of 150.
So there's no, the May Boulevard would dead end into this property?
It is shown there slightly to the north of that storm pipe. The road from May Boulevard will extend into the property, but it'll be a private road. And Hannah had mentioned the easements. That's one thing that's included on the updated plat. There will be an easement across track 1 to track 2.
Okay.
So there will be a road there, but it'll just be a private road.
Okay. And there's no corresponding road to the Geneva Avenue on the other side of Frida Maple,
Correct, yeah.
You're at the hillside where it's going up.
the
Yeah.
topography. which we
Topography
can't see
grows
here.
and the water tower at the bottom of the page up on the hill, so.
Okay,
That's
gotcha.
very
Is that
difficult.
private road ever going to be potentially, going to become a public
The,
road or not?
the city engineer looked at it and said it'd be real difficult to put a road up in that area. He's not anticipating.
Okay.
Geneva, the one that you have on the bottom page, goes from right to left. That will extend on out. There's already, that's part of the future
Yeah, that's,
visual.
we talked about that.
That's a lot of work and effort there.
I believe we'll look at the site plan for Culver's later too, and it shows more of the site layout and the road across. And that road will essentially wrap into the Culver's drive-through. So,
And forgive me, Geneva, how big is that road distance? 50 feet?
it's a 50-foot right-of-way. It's about 400
50 foot
feet long.
Yeah, 50-foot right of way. And so Geneva is pretty good size, pretty wide road.
Okay,
That helps.
all right, thank you, that's all
Thank you, sir.
helpful.
Any other questions or comments about this subdivision?
I'd like to make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Nick?
Yes. The Judith Edward Boyd Estate, number 2 on the agenda, has applied for the subdivision of a 29.277 acre parcel of land located at 526 Harberson Lane, Danville, and the property is currently zoned agriculture. We discussed this in tech review, but there really weren't any comments other than to ensure that the barn listed in the middle of, or located on the middle of the plat is, has a 25-foot setback of that property line, and to make sure that's noted on the plat itself, to see where the setbacks are in the new lot lines. But those were our only comments during tech review, during our initial discussion.
There wasn't much conversation in tech review. Like I said, the barn was the only one you didn't know where it was.
Any questions or comments about this subdivision approval? Okay.
I move we approve.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Got a second? Are we ready to vote here?
Tom, you got questions?
It's fine.
I guess I do have a question.
Okay.
Do the different tracks have the road frontage required?
It's, the driveways are kind of diagonally there. So, yeah, they all connect basically to the road up in the bottom corner.
Yeah, so down here, they're all got
Yeah.
40 foot.
Oh, okay. So it's all
Yeah, it's,
very easy.
it's a really odd looking shape when you look at putting it this small, but they all have access to the road, the road frontage.
Yeah. I mean, it's very odd shaped tracks, but is that?
I didn't go out and look at
But
the,
they each have to have a 40-foot access to the road.
right. The driveways have some interesting history when you look at the details, but it's perfectly acceptable for what
I
they're doing.
think we're gonna get a little clarification.
Dale likes to do this.
It's me again.
Hey, Dale.
Yes, each track, there's 3 tracks here, and 2 of the tracks have a 40-foot strip that goes back to each track, and then the track where the house is, of course, it's a lot wider. It's a couple hundred, 250 feet or so. The reason that you see the crosshatched area is there's going to be an easement over that track for the other 2 tracks to use that driveway, so they don't have to put a new driveway in. Actually, what's going on here is Miss Boyle has passed away, and in her will, she had a niece and a stepdaughter, and the niece was supposed to get 1 track, and the stepdaughter get the other 2. And so that's the reason it makes that funny configuration, but that's the type of,
If they want to have, however they want to set up to only have 1 driveway, through easement is fine, but legally, to have those, they have to have a 40-foot.
and they do.
Right, so that's.
Yes,
That
yes,
makes it technically
yes.
correct.
If you go and look at it, it's only going to have one driveway.
Right, right.
Now, I'm not gonna say that it forever, I mean,
Well, that's why, we can't allow this.
Yeah.
That's why they have to have that.
correct, yeah, and I'm sure at some point, they're probably gonna wanna put their own driveway in. You know, it could be a future owner, who knows? But they do have the required amount of road frontage for each track.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further questions?
Let's make a vote.
If not, all those in favor? Thank you. That passes. Next.
Last one on the list is number 3 on the list. Dale and Lisa Coffey have applied for the subdivision of a 2.931 acre parcel of land into 2 tracts located at 1358 Taylor Road in Boyle County, and the property is currently zoned agricultural. So we discussed this in tech review that it's actually not technically correct because there are 2 residents on the same plot. So currently, this is not technically correct the way it is, but we were waiting to see if potentially the old residence has a lower square foot, so we could determine if it's an accessory dwelling unit and not a primary residence. But we haven't seen any of those.
They haven't come back to
They
you
haven't come
yet?
back with any
We
amendments.
really can't do anything
So,
with this then.
yeah.
So we need to table
table
this
this one.
until that's resolved.
You did, okay, so what were the,
Oh, you got something? I love it when it shows up at the last moment.
Mr. Carroll, does it show that the other building is smaller?
It is smaller,
Could you come up to the microphone, please? Identify yourself and your address and.
Yeah, you can fill in what we were there, I was there at the meeting, but we had a lot of
My
conversation.
name's Steve Carroll with Carroll Land Surveying. The old residence, it was probably built back in the late 30s, early 40s. It's in very poor condition. I went in and remeasured some of it. A lot of it, I mean, it's ready to fall down, so I took that portion off. measured up the existing new residence. It was a little bit bigger. It's about, the old residence is about 60%. It's about 200 square feet larger than what it should be for it to be an accessory structure.
Oh,
The plans are, though, to tear that residence down. When that's gonna happen,
that's the one that you've got a second person living in?
yes, and they're actually gonna be moving her out. She's, the folks who live in the residence, the Coffees live in the newer residence.
Mhm.
It is his sister. She is in poor health, and they're actually gonna be moving her to another home.
Now, Hannah, you were at the meeting and discussion, if I remember correct on here. We still got a dangling issue here out.
Yes. That and the driveway, and also, the accessory structure is still more than half of the primary residence, so.
It's, I think,
It's still-
200 square feet.
It's 1,070 square feet, and the residence is 1,600. So it's still greater than half, so there's still a lot of remaining questions.
I can't deal with, I don't know how to deal with the situation about the future things to happen on there. All I can deal with, Steve, is what we have now on the paperwork.
And the driveway really wasn't an issue. They're gonna put a new driveway across, I think it's, what is that, track 2B? They're gonna put a new driveway across that. They're not even gonna use the existing driveway.
There was I've been in that area and the driveways needed to be doing something anyway.
Yeah.
The topography goes down to the lake when you get toward the top of the paper, so it's a great big rough hillside is what it
Yes.
is. Nice way to say that.
That old existing marina, the road comes up through there, and it's usable up to that sharp curve.
Yes.
To try to go in and use that existing curve there, it would be tough, so.
Yes, it would be.
Well, we appreciate you bringing this forward to us, and we're sorry if we didn't receive it by email due to the weather and such. I think there are still questions.
Yeah,
Mr. Carroll, is this something that has to be done now, or what's the urgency on this right now?
They've been trying to sell this marina, I think, for over a year. They had another buyer that was gonna, we had another plat that had, I think, was close to approval, and he backed out on them. They've got a new buyer now that wants the marina, and they're just trying to get it ready for spring, I think, is the big thing.
But that puts us in a very odd position. We can't really approve this because it's not technically correct.
And I've told them that if they're gonna tear the residence down, that they need to go on and do that. And he said, well, if the people buying track 2B are probably gonna come back and buy the house track, split it off,
Why
and add
can't-
it to the marina.
But we can't do anything about what they
Oh, I know.
intend to do.
I know, and I told him, I said, the house needs to come in, he said, well, if I do that, that drops the price of that lot. To me, it would be advantageous to go on and tear the house down.
Is there any reason they can't make it 3 lots, with each of the houses be on its own
It's
legal lot?
zoned ag, there's not enough
Oh.
actual area. The old plat did not take into consideration the 760 elevation. If you use the old plat measurements, yeah, there's enough room, but if you use what's actually available, there's not enough area.
So I am hearing Lisa and Hannah make some comments. Is there something you want to add about this?
we were just discussing the possibility of,
Not combining the two.
yeah, not combining those 2 parcels.
Why are you,
We're not, I
why are
really,
you combining the 2 bottom tracks? Why are we not leaving these 2 tracks alone as they are?
Well, you've got to the north there that's the only reason I included that in that other
Okay,
track.
but you could go back and cut that off and combine it with this as a non-conforming track, because it's an adjoining lot, you could combine them. Then you would not have to combine these lots, and you would not have the issue of 2 residences on 1 lot.
I've pushed that idea. They don't want to sell everything. I mean, it's what I want to do and what I can do are two conflicting things with
You're
Well, I
being
mean,
good to
that
your
may be
client.
the only way for them to make it,
I can't.
You're being good to your
Legitimate.
client, but I don't know, I can't speak for anybody else. This is not technically correct, so I can't.
So our options really are to table this until the issues are resolved, or not approve
Just
it,
deny it, yeah.
or deny it because it is not in conformity.
What helps you more? Because those are your two options.
Either one would work, and I'll just tell them, you've got to make a decision. Either sell it as it is, or,
For the short term, I'm willing to
To table.
to table it for another month, but after
And
that,
allow them to
it's,
come back, yeah.
if it doesn't change,
That's
I'm down
very
with that.
reasonable.
I just turn around and,
Yeah,
That's-
but,
that's a
very
but if it
reasonable
doesn't change,
recommendation from
it's
Tech
gonna
Review.
be denied.
yes.
All right, does someone want to make a motion on this?
I'll move to table this until further information.
Well, we-
It can be conformed to.
Before we get second on it, Steve, is that, you're okay with that direction?
yes, that's fine.
I just wanted to hear it from you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Do I have a second? Thank you. All those in favor of tabling this until some issues are resolved?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Hannah, I think we're going to public hearings, is that
No, we
correct?
got- Oh, we got all five.
Yes, that's correct.
And I guess we need a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
Thank you. All those in favor of going into public hearing? Okay, we're ready to go with that.
All right, so we've got three things for the public hearings. You got a site plan from Culver's, site plan amendment from Denham Blythe, and a zoning map amendment from Mead Real Estate. So Culver's by Weston Wilson has applied for a site plan for a 4,400 square foot drive-through restaurant building and improvements located at the intersection of Frey Mave and the proposed Geneva Avenue, Danville, and this is currently zoned highway business. And so that is where it will be located, that road right there, up until the water tower. And this is their site plan, and I believe y'all have that in front of you as well. And our comments during tech review, one from the fire marshal was that we need a hammerhead at the southwest, where that road ends, just for turnaround for fire and EMS. We need an easement for the city for the car wash. I believe that future commercial development will eventually be a car wash, is what we discussed. We discussed having a landscape plan and a drainage and stormwater plan with the city engineer, sidewalks and hydrants also shown on this plat. So that was what we discussed in tech review.
So before we go forward with either approving or disapproving any of these that are in public hearing, given the fact that we've had bad weather, not everyone from the public may have a chance to have come and spoken about it. We could, if any of these appear to be contentious, we could choose to table them to the next meeting to allow for public comment. I'm just gonna throw that out. I'm not saying we need to do that, but it is certainly a
Well, my wife
possibility.
informed me that this is all over Facebook,
Oh, yeah?
the Culvers.
In a good or bad way?
In a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a more informative way.
Okay, so,
And pointing out that this hearing was scheduled today.
okay,
To talk
well,
about
that
it.
helps. Who would like to speak in favor of this site plan? Do we have anyone here to do that? Thank you.
Lucas Mullins with AGE Engineering. This was the subdivision, or part of the subdivision plat that we discussed earlier across the Owens property. So that road to the east is Freya Mave Lane, and then the new proposed Geneva. So that road to the plan north is the road coming across Freya Mave, and it wraps into the drive-through for Culver's, and that would be about 3 lanes wide. There will be 2 drive-through lanes, and then one just kind of accessory route around the building and the drive-through lane. And then there will be sidewalks on both sides of Geneva, and track 1 is not included in this site plan, but is a future commercial development that right now possibly could be a car wash, but nothing's set in stone there yet.
So,
Now, can I clarify, you made a statement about 3 accesses. The bottom of the page is shown on here, that's the public access. Toward the back, that's across a private property.
Right.
So-
And we have added an easement
Yeah,
across
there's
that.
an easement on that property is what,
it's across the private property, but it comes into where May Boulevard would be, on
Right.
the opposite side?
Yeah.
Okay.
so it's splitting hairs a little bit, but just to point out that the third access along the top of the page, which is basically the backside of Culver's,
Is Culver's buying the property or leasing the property?
easement on that property. They're not buying it.
I guess.
I don't-
No,
and
the
that-
property
it's-
where the Culvers is going to be, is that going to be owned by Culvers or leased by Culvers? I guess what I'm asking about is, who's the ownership?
Okay.
Are they two different
You-
owners
it-
that one is going to lease from another?
And you have a good point.
And-
This is
and
actually
Can
two-
that lease be revoked
This
later
is-
on?
This is 2 different property. They're on 2 different set
Can
of
you
deeds.
allow this gentleman to answer that question?
My understanding is that Culver's will be purchasing track 2, and then somebody else will be purchasing track 1, and the easement across track 1 will be for the benefit of track 2.
Like in perpetuity? Henry,
Yeah.
can you help me out with this? Does that need to be a public road? Is it okay to be an easement for, do we have to have specific wording in there for us to be okay with this? For us to not carry the risk?
Does it have the frontage required? Is that,
I guess what I'm getting at is that there's one access that's being presented here on the site plan for Culvers that's gonna cross another property. And we're talking about X number of accesses that are, how many axes we're gonna have there, accesses, yes. And I'm wondering if a future owner removes that access, then what does that do for us?
The easement would be in
Do
perpetuity.
we care if a future owner removes that?
I think from an approval standpoint, we don't care. I think from a good planning standpoint, maybe it's
Yeah.
something we want noted specifically.
I would love to have a, what's the word, condition. I'd love to put a condition on there that easement is written in there for, that they
But
can't
the
be.
tract 1.
Yeah, that whoever gets, I want to see the track 1 easement be irrevocable as long as there's a business there, if that makes sense.
But does that come before us when we see a site plan for tract 1?
No, I think that comes from track 2, because track 2 is preceding track 1.
I see.
Does that make sense? Like, you're talking about track 1, I don't want, if whoever owns track 1 right now could sell it tomorrow, and then that guy goes, no, I'm not giving you an easement for that.
Well, the easement is in perpetuity, and it would be forever unless track 2 agreed to abolish it.
It's, the owner was at the tech meeting, and he did express the fact that he owned both properties. He even brought a fact that empty one on the right is he's intending to put a car wash in. But you still have a valid question. So we did have
I'm talking about process for.
but in here, we had a conversation about, all right, so they say fire truck accessibilities without that back. The back helps, but they were not concerned about access to the property for the safety of things. That's also where we got into a little bit of placement of fire hydrants.
I'd
in
like the
pictures.
easement to transfer, I'd like to put a condition on there that the easement has to transfer with the owner, if that makes sense. Is that normal or not?
I don't think it is, but it sounded to me like we had the confirmation of the thing that you were asking for. Did you not say the easement was in perpetuity?
Yeah, it's for the use and benefit of track 2, and so it doesn't
Okay.
establish a set owner just for this track.
Okay, so that easement would transfer then?
Correct,
I'm good with
yes.
that.
Yeah.
Thanks, that's all I was wondering about. What I didn't want to do is put us in a position where we're approving a site plan for something that includes an easement that could be in the future withdrawn.
That makes sense. I think where this is going to be in the planning office, and there's going to be a certificate of land use restriction for it, I think. We could ask that there be some note on there referring to the easement where it's recorded in the clerk's office, a deed page number.
Yeah. And the updated subdivision plat will have the easement on it.
It would work.
Just a question, what, the small piece, oval piece up in the top corner,
Yeah,
what is that?
like an island for the drive-through board and speaker and that kind of thing.
You got, looks like drive-through on both
Two
sides.
drive-through lanes.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 drive-through lanes.
I asked the same question. It's pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
It's like, what odd piece of landscaping? No, functional.
As a tribute, did he get his, there'll be a large sign on a pole Culver's talked about.
Yeah,
you
they're
get that
still
worked
trying
out?
to work that out.
They were trying to decide how tall the pole had to be to clear the back of the hill to get the Culver's sign up on top. Interesting. That's a
Valid
different topic.
question.
Yeah, yeah, he was trying to figure out how to lift something up and be able to see it. But that was an experiment on his side.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak in favor of this site plan? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this site plan? Okay, do we have any questions, or comments from the commissioners?
So did we end up, we're not really putting a condition on this then, are we?
I think the engineer had agreed to
Yeah.
add a note with the recording information for the easement.
Yes.
As a condition of approval, if that's acceptable.
That'll be the only condition that we need to tie to this.
So we need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this with the added condition that we talked about, tagging for the access.
And I'll second that.
Okay? All those in favor, please say yes or raise your hand. Thank you, that's approved. Okay, number 2.
Danville has applied for a site plan amendment on the parcel known as 58 Corporate Drive. Sorry about that. Denham Blythe has applied for a site plan amendment on the parcel known as 58 Corporate Drive, Hobart, for a 4,500 square foot office space addition to the existing commercial structure zoned highway business. So this is out by BCTC, out on Lebanon Road and Corporate Drive. Or, sorry, it is zoned IBD, not highway business. That is incorrect.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
It is zoned IBD, industrial business. Sorry about
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
Not highway business. But this is the original site plan that was approved. And this will be their expansion, their office expansion. But there were no comments during tech review and no staff concerns with this expansion.
Yeah, it seemed to fit in it
yeah.
fit into what they had
Yeah.
already in that area.
Would anyone like to speak in favor of this site plan?
Yes, good morning. My name is Patrick Garrett. I'm with Denham Blythe Company. We're doing the design and hopefully the construction for this. As you stated, it's a 4,500 square foot office facility to improve the working conditions and the infrastructure for the employees there. We think it'd be a great thing for Hobart and the employees that work at the facility.
It seems to fit right into the flow of the building and the structure, doesn't it?
It does.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to speak in favor of this? Denham Blythe site plan amendment? Would anyone want to speak in opposition to it? Commissioners, any comments, questions?
Looks pretty straightforward.
How about a motion then?
I would move to approve.
That's that second.
Thank you. All in favor? Okay, that's approved. Mead Real Estate.
Mead Real Estate LLC has applied for a zoning map amendment. Sorry about that. Has applied for a zoning map amendment from highway business to industrial business district on an 8.694 acre parcel of land located along Kentucky Highway 34, Minor Road, and Cape Avenue in Danville. And it, like I said, it's currently zoned highway business. In the 2025 flume, it is designated as corridor, but I will say the surrounding area that is in purple, that is all industrial. So it would go with the surrounding area, even though it is not in compliant with the flume, exactly.
We did discuss that, actually.
Yeah.
We talked
Because there were
about,
only that two parcels?
yes.
Yeah.
Those are the only two parcels that were corridor.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
So,
which doesn't make a lot of sense, given the location and adjacent properties.
But this is their site plan proposal, and, yeah, there were really no staff concerns about this zone change, because it did go with the surrounding areas.
And so even if they break it up and put smaller things in there, it would still be in accordance with what, if they're smaller businesses, they can still exist in the industrial business district.
Correct, as they are already doing now. But I believe they are only asking to change a portion of those lots. Is that correct, Dale?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dale Shepperson, AGE.
I guess you're going to speak in favor.
Well,
Yeah.
Go
I just
ahead.
want to explain,
Go ahead.
the smaller tracks are going to remain HB because in order for it to go to IBD, it has to be 5 acres or larger.
Yep.
So we're going to leave the smaller.
That's why
small
we,
tracks
that's why
as
we
they are.
left it when we were doing the flume. That's why we left it, to give them opportunity to break that up into smaller tracks.
Yeah, and the reason for this, the reason being that they're wanting to go to IBD, of course, you know, this is Mead Tractor, and they are expanding their business. They're gonna have a lot more construction, heavy equipment items. So, and when they do that, the parking lot to park that, dozers, you know, excavators, or whatever, that needs to be on a gravel parking lot instead of a blacktop parking lot, because it would tear the blacktop all to pieces. So they're wanting to put the parking lot to the north of the building, behind the other HB stuff. So not really, you know, they want it to be seen, but they want to get it off the road, if you will. So that's what's going on here, and they're also going to enlarge the building that is there now. They're gonna build a new building that will be coming in the future.
So the intent is not necessarily to split this up. It's
The
a
intent
single, the intent is not to split up the parcels, it's
Well,
a single
the-
business.
The parcels are split,
Right.
so, but yes, all we're talking about is the 8.69 acre tract. The other tracts, that will not affect them.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have a small enclave of corridor, highway business, inside the industrial, IBD.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're too small to be in IBD.
Okay,
It really started
That-
because,
just because that's the rule?
Because that's the rule.
Yeah, you want
And
to,
this is one of those times where it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that makes more sense than giving them an exemption within IBD.
Okay.
Hannah, you were going to make a comment?
this really started because, like Dale said, they wanted to do storage, but that storage, is, gravel lot is not permitted in highway business, and
Correct.
the only way to do that was through a zone change, so.
But they have a lot of outdoor storage as it is and always have historically, and they have it on gravel lots. It's not really in keeping with the HB zone that it's in, and the only zone we have that allows that gravel surface for the parking of the equipment is the IBD.
And it just makes sense that it's IBD, because IBD's all around it, you know?
Yeah, it conforms, that'll make
So-
it conform with everything that's around it.
Right.
Dale, will they still sell tractors or agricultural equipment?
will,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Yes,
That's one of the justifications for this.
yes. They're not, they are just expanding their business.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Would anyone else like to speak in favor of this zoning map amendment? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this zone amendment? Commissioners, questions, comments?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
Ken? All those in favor,
Oh,
please
Madam
say
Chair,
yes.
sorry.
Oh,
Oh, I was real close
do we need,
too.
yeah, all right. We-
The
Go ahead, Henry.
justifications laid out in the staff report talk about the comp plan goal of growing a diverse economy. One of those has to do with promoting ag-related businesses. There's also an action item in our comp plan for that promotion of businesses that says identify and zone areas specifically for agricultural business development. There's also an objective under preserve community resources, which says to promote the development of underutilized properties. And I think this expansion might fall within that.
Yes.
For sure.
So I'd like to amend the motion to include that language.
Okay. So, does my second still stand?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Then all those in favor of the motion? Thank you. That's been approved. Is there anything else for public hearing? Okay, so I need a motion to go out of public hearing.
I'd like to make a motion.
Thank you. And I heard, there we go. And all in favor? Yes. And now we're going to go to new business. And I think under new business is the advisory committee report.
Yes.
And we attempted to have a advisory committee with some guests to come with us and have feedback in regards to the text amendment that went to the fiscal court and was sent back to us. However, weather precluded us getting together at the time that we wanted to get together. Our meeting place was closed, people were having difficulty. So we're in the process of attempting to get that rescheduled as soon as we possibly can. And then after we receive that feedback from a number of people, and in just a minute I'll be quiet and let Hannah talk about who those people might be, we will, then the advisory committee will come back to planning and zoning with recommendation in regards to that text amendment. So you want to talk about gathering those people together? And
Yeah, I did want to confirm, did February 3rd at 11:30 work for the advisory committee? Was that good for everybody?
I think so.
Okay.
February 3rd, 11:30?
Yes, yeah.
So you're going to send us a calendar?
Yes, I'll send you a calendar invite, and I don't know, am I allowed to say, like, all of the members that said yes?
You might just say who they kind of represent.
Okay,
people
so
we
we've
asked.
got a good group, we've got people from the Parksville Water Board that are gonna be there, people from the roads department in the county, landowners, and we have somebody who's in construction in the county as well. So I think it'll be a good diverse input.
Okay, should be a good discussion.
Yeah, but I did try to ensure that a lot of the people were from the county because I feel like it'll affect
And you
that.
sent us a calendar notice for 10:30.
I think originally we had planned for 10:30 and then we.
Now we're going with
Okay.
11.
Yeah.
So you just need to modify that.
Yes, yeah.
And
I'll
it's
modify
still
that.
going to be here.
Yes, it'll be here, probably in the small conference room over there.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we know if the surrounding counties are 5 acres or 1 acre?
Yes, I have sent out that question to directors. It's every single county is so different. Mercer County is at 2 acres or 2.5 acres, I believe.
With consideration of changing. so.
Yes, all of them are trying to change right now. I know.
And
we're
similar
still-
pushback.
Yeah, Woodford
Henry,
County.
what's Woodford?
Woodford is
Like
30 now,
30.
they want to be 50, so, but
50?
50.
50.
They're at 30.
They're at 30.
But they want to
They-
match Lexington just because horse barn, so
Okay.
every county is so different because they have different,
All right.
Objectives.
yeah.
The reason I'm bringing that up is when in the hearing, when the county discussed this, the gentleman, the county representative who was pushing to go back to 1 acre said that all the surrounding counties were at 1 acre. So I
Which
don't-
is not
No,
correct.
Not true.
Right.
They're just not.
No,
Yeah, okay.
no, there's lots of variety.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is not an easy topic.
Yeah,
Okay, so we will plan on that. And as far as the
So,
Sorry?
just
Go ahead.
relative to those discussions, the other piece was changing 40 acres, or 40 feet road frontage to 100-foot road frontage. Are we entertaining other metrics other than just 1 acre and 5 acres?
Absolutely,
That
yeah.
accomplish the same?
Sure.
Yeah.
Density.
I think my understanding is the objective of that meeting is to get input from these other variety stakeholders to say what works. Our objective is to limit development in the rural areas. That's what we said in the comp
To
plan.
preserve.
And preserve agricultural lands. So how do we best do that? And what's the right way to write all of that into our,
What's the best way to
Right.
do that
Ordinance.
in sort of a balanced
Yeah.
manner?
because our intent
Given
is,
the fact that there are people who have a variety of opinions and
Sure.
are stakeholders in this.
but our intent was not to limit what individual landowners can do with their land. Its intent is to limit development
And density.
outside the city
Yeah.
limits. That's,
That was a feature of our comp plan.
The comp plan, what's really interesting that I have to keep reminding myself, the comp plan is government policy. It has been adopted by the government. That is the policy. What we have to do now is to write the zoning law to implement that policy, to make a strategy to implement the policy. Policy necessarily precedes strategy, which we did. So now we have policy that's been voted on and approved by the governments. Now we have to have a strategy to implement that.
Now, and the strategy can lead to either a modification of existing standards or an inclusion of an additional area of standard.
exactly.
But what we're not doing is relitigating the policy that's been adopted in the comp plan.
Yeah. I think it's more of a discussion of how do we get there.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The policy is what we're talking about is how.
Okay, so we will have that meeting, we will receive input, we will get together again in the advisory committee, we'll make a recommendation, and we'll take as much time as it needs to take.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about the budget committee. Personnel committee, anything from there?
Nothing from that?
And any other new business?
Nothing today?
I would just remind folks that at our February meeting, we will elect our officers and look at any revisions to our committee members and chairs.
Can I ask a trivia?
Scheduled in February.
The trivia question had to do with the training that's over at the golf course coming up
Yes?
that they have on there. How many people are we gotten going as a group?
And Rita as well?
There's about 5 of us.
About 5 of us?
And Rita.
And Rita?
Yeah, because Rita wanted to go too.
Okay, and you're taking care of
Yeah.
that part of it? Thank you. It's a fun one to listen to. Sally and I had a great time last year.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
With all the fire.
Fun is not exactly the word I'd use for it, but
We
it is,
gotta
but
think,
it's,
think positive.
but it was interesting. Yeah, it's interesting and it gives you another perspective to think about, and it also provides us with some of our required training.
I wanted to jump back to February business real quick.
Yes?
Where there was talk of committee assignments, maybe you're already on top of this, perhaps to send out what those currently are and have any preferences expressed for who wants to be on what.
Yeah, I'll send that out today.
Yeah, I believe Lisa had sent out earlier our officers and committees, and who was on it, but if there's any adds or changes to
Yeah.
it. I think it's important to take a look at that.
Yeah.
And if there are people who have strong opinions about where they want to be or not be, they should speak up.
And I'll bring a hard copy next month so we can just go over that together.
And then that lasts for a year.
Yeah.
Okay, any other announcements?
Nothing.
Okay, ready to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you. All of us who are in approval, just stand right up.
Thank you, Sally.